Hey guys, welcome back. So something that's been kind of weighing on my mind has been, my name. As you all know, my moniker on YouTube is a little bit fancy. It isn't my name. It is and it isn't. I am kind of the princess of my family. I have two older brothers, and I was always a daddy's little girl, and I was mama's princess, so I am princess, is kind of how that works. And May is my middle name. I never liked my first name. And I thought I was crazy, so I talked to my therapist about it, and I also did some research online, and it's actually the real thing. It has a fancy name, and I'm not going to say it because I'm going to mess it up, but we'll talk about it again. But I read this article about it, and I've been compiling a list of possible names that I do like. The one that I respond to, okay, so my name is Emily. I know it doesn't work. I don't respond when people call me it. That's the big kicker. So growing up, my parents called me Em. They called me Emmy. I got called Little May. No one called me Emily, except my teachers, and I was also anxious to talk in class that no one called me it. And my friends were they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's Emily," and I'm like, that doesn't even sound like me. I identified it as another girl in class or whatever. Oh yeah, that's that freaky kid. Not that it was me. I'm M, obviously. But I don't even like M. It's just, it was I could be Glee or I could be M. And I was like, alright, we're picking M. And I couldn't be Emma because that's what I was originally thinking. I was 12 and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I could just go by Emma. That's not as bad. But then my cousin had a baby and named her Emma. I was like, well, there goes that one. No, my name is very uncommon. It was uncommon. I was born in 97, which was the only year that was the most popular name, and then never again. And before that, they hadn't named a kid Emily since the 1800s. That was the last time my name hit a chart. And my mom was like, oh yeah, no one's going to come up with this name, because it was the beginning of the year. And then by the end of the year, everyone had named their newborn in the same year, the same name. So I was full of a class of Emilys. And sometimes they looked like it, and sometimes I identified with it, and sometimes I was like, what did your parents do to you? And I've only met two Emilys past, my generation, that are, younger than me, that one fits her name. I used to tutor her. And then the other one, I'm like, you look like a Sally or a Susie, something old, but it's definitely not Emily. And I've never met anyone else younger than me with that name. I honestly hate it. I hate that name. I don't respond to it. I figured that at work today too, that I know I don't respond to it because no one in my life calls me it. My mom calls me Em. My dad used to call me Emmy. My brothers call me Emmy. They call me Em. Some of my old friends from growing up call me Emmys. That's what a lot of my cousins call me, Emmys. Really long and drawn out, Emmys. It sounds like Emmys. It's not even my name. And then people call me Em all the time, but someone at work was like, Emily, 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 hey Emily, hey Emily, and I really didn't hear them at all. It didn't register in my head. They were calling me, and they came over, and they're like, hey, and I was like, oh, hi. And they're like, can you push the line down? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And he was looking at me like, I was calling you. I was right behind you and calling you. And you didn't hear me. I was like, I don't respond to my name. And it's written in all my charts at work, and I'm like, I look at it and I stare at this big block letter, Emily. And I'm like, it looks so daunting and awful. It's everyone else at work has Alicia, they're nice names. Mine is so stark. when I was 18, I asked my mom if she would be offended if I changed my name. And she was like, why would you want to do that? And I was like, well, I mean, you don't identify with your name either. So I think this is like a trend. You know, she doesn't go by her birth name. She goes by a nickname that her mom gave her, which is off of it. So, like, I won't say her, but my mom's name is Lori, and it's a nickname off of her birth name. Mine, I go by M because I don't respond to Emily. She doesn't respond to her birth name. And when she says it, it sounds weird. When she writes it, she's like, oh, this is weird. I'm like, well, now you know how I feel. So she said she would not be offended if I changed my name. But I don't know if I believe her or not. I know my dad would have been offended. He would have been like, what do you mean? I named you. Stick with it. Ah! He wanted to name me Edwina. I really think I would have changed it by 18. I would have been like, we're changing it. But Emily means like to strive and be like industrious. I'm like, strive and be industrious? Like, my kid's not gonna have a name that means strive and be industrious. At least Edwina meant like friendship. Like, that would have been better. But no, my best friends call me Amelia, which I don't know where they got it from, but they've been calling me Amelia since we were like kids, and I respond to that more than anything else. So basically, if we go to the mall when it was open, we go to the mall and pre-quarantine, and my best friend would write my name on the thing, and she would be like, it's 2 eyes, right? And I'm like, yeah, 2 eyes. And she'd write Amelia on the paper and on the whiteboard thing, and she wouldn't think anything of it. I wouldn't think anything of it, and no one else would question it, you know? And I was just like, maybe my name is supposed to be Amelia, which is weird because growing up I had this theory that my parents were my grandparents and that my real mom had died because there was a 40-year age gap. This was before they like revealed like, haha, you have brothers. And I was like, what? Because they disappeared for a bit and they didn't want to tell like, oh, you have brothers, they're just not in contact with you right now. It's like a little 6-year-old. So I came up with this idea in my head that they were lying to me and that they had a daughter, she died, but she had a kid first, and that my parents were my grandparents. Because we have a 40 to 50-year difference between my mom and my dad and me. So I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And I didn't know that divorce was a thing, and like step, and like all other marriages. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, mommy, daddy. Made sense. So I thought that my birth mom was named Amelia, but with an A, like Amelia, like the normal Amelia. I was like, so then when people just started calling me Emilia, Emilia, can't even spell, I was identifying with it instantly. And when I was 18, I was going to change my name to Emerson, after Ralph Waldo Emerson, of course, because I'm a poet, but with a Y, because I'm extra, and just be Emerson May, and do it that way. I'd still be Auntie M to all my nieces and nephews, and it really wouldn't change anything, and I could go by Mercy if I wanted to. But then you get the whole Mercy, so that kind of died out. I told the guy I was dating at the time, I was like, I think I'm going to change my name to Emerson, what do you think? And he's like, isn't that a boy's name? Do you want to be a boy? And I was like, it wouldn't be a problem if I did, either way, but, yeah, I haven't used Emerson since 18. I used it for a little bit, but it didn't stick as much as I wanted it to, and everyone else just kept calling me Amelia. So it's like everyone else, and like my parents named me Emily, society named me Amelia, and I was like, I don't know what I feel like. Like, I'm not an April, I'm not a Janet, I'm not a Ramona, or I could be a Morgan. Not even a Morgan. Jeez. There's a lot of names that I love that I've like saved for my future children, and I'm like, what if I took their name? And I'm like, no, that's stupid. Like, I'm not them. Um, yeah, there's a lot of. My dad also used to call me Emmeline, which is like a ship name of me and my aunt, because he couldn't like separate, because me and my aunt look a lot like, and we had our contacts were both E, obviously. She's Eileen, I'm Emily, and they were right next to each other. And he had a flip phone, like a QWERTY board phone, and he would scroll through, like hit the down arrow, and he'd always call the wrong one or text the wrong one. And so he changed both of our names to Emmeline, and we would just send each other the message if it wasn't meant for us. And it's still saved. So my mom took over his phone number, so the contact info is still what he put, so it still says Emmeline for both of us, so that's not confusing at all. Yeah, so he used to call me Emmeline and Emmy, and it's like, how do you go from having one name for 23 years and then deciding, okay, I've lived with it for 23 years, I was going to change it when I was 18, but I wasn't positive on the name. Now I think I'm a little more positive on the name. I know I'm not a Nicole. I think I'm still an M, but not Emily. Dear God, not Emily. And so I think it's Amelia. I think that's what it is. I feel a little bit giddy. I think you're supposed to feel giddy when that's like you're picking your name. So I want to know if you guys kind of feel the same. I talked to my roommate about it. I was like, do you like your name? And she goes, yeah, I love my name. I've never had a problem. I've always loved it. It's a perfect name for me. And I'm like, I don't feel that. So I can't be the only one. So what do you guys think about your name? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Have you changed your name? Did changing it help? Did you like that new name? Or did you feel like I should have changed it back? Or like, how many times can you go through the name changing process? Like, there's so many names out there. Do you just go by it first and then change it legally? Or, you keep your legal documents, your birth name, and you just change, like, okay, just call me this from now on. Like, how did that go over? Oh my god, I'm gonna need to make this, like, more than one video. Alright, so I am signing off. This is so weird. I don't have a name. That's so weird. I feel like my birth certificate should be, like, whited out. I mean, don't, because it'll be like they'll deport me or something. But a space. But, like, what? Who am I? Who am I? Imagine that. Who am I? Alright. Love y'all. Send peace and good vibes in hard times, as always. Love you.